One large issue that came up was with an initial MHT, which the MHT was safe and everything looked good on it. So we approved it. We went ahead and started work with that MHT. There were two main issues with it. First being that our closure was set too long, which that meant that traffic wait times ended up exceeding the 15-minute maximum threshold that we had set. So we were causing some unnecessary delays as we set up at the beginning of the night, which was unacceptable and something that we had to address very quickly going into the next night. Then as we continued to work, we were having some issues with staffing actually. So this particular MHT involved quite a large number of flaggers working the various intersections through the project, which meant if, we needed 10 flaggers and we only got 8 of them that night, we weren't able to safely proceed with the work. So we wouldn't work that night. That issue kind of kept coming up, and it kept meaning that we weren't able to pave on various different nights. So we had to discuss some way that we could potentially alter this MHT so we didn't need the same amount of staff and so we could get it done safely. What we ended up deciding to do was to go with a different MHT that didn't involve such a large closure, which in theory reduced our pavement production rates. However, the fact that we were able to work every night with only 3 or 4 flaggers instead of almost a dozen meant that we were able to pave every night and get everything done. Another issue we had, even with full flagging staffs, we had one-way traffic, which we can only have traffic going either northbound or southbound at one time. It is up to the traffic control staff to ensure that they're only releasing traffic when it's safe to do so. Since they had no sight line, they had to do this with radios. We believe there was some sort of radio issue or potentially some training issues with some of the staff out there. And we had, I believe, 2 different instances where traffic was released in both directions at the same time, which creates a head-on condition. Fortunately, traffic was moving very slowly through the work zone, so the incident wasn't exacerbated, made worse. But the fact that it happened and it happened twice meant that we had a lot of discussions about, is this really safe for us to be doing? Obviously, members of the traveling public could cause a crash. It could also mean that a vehicle enters our work zone. Just not a good situation all around. So that was one that there was really no question about it. We stopped work both instances. We tried to ensure that communication was there, but the fact that the issue persisted meant that we ended up deciding, for both that safety reason as well as just the issue of finding staff for that one-way MHT, we decided to maintain 2-way traffic throughout the paving operations. Overall, I'd say it was pretty successful. We discussed and anticipated a lot of the issues. We didn't anticipate everything, but as issues came up, we addressed them pretty quickly. We took all concerns pretty seriously, whether they were raised by the management team, by the general public, or really any crew member or stakeholder. I think the plan was successful mainly due to its iterations and everyone's commitment to staying involved and improving safety through the project.